Welcome to the 8 Billion Project, where we're on a mission to make an impact by discovering and sharing the purpose of every person on this planet. I'm your host, Liza, Florida. Enjoy today's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 8 Billion Podcast. I am your host, Liza, Florida. And today, my special guest is Patrice Bisiot, or Bisiot. How is it pronounced, Patrice?
Bisiot, very well.
Bisiot.
Bonjour.
Patrice is an author, a keynote speaker, branding and image consultant, and founder of Image Impact Index. So I am actually going to let Patrice expand on his own bio while we go through our interview today. But welcome, Patrice, to the 8 Billion Podcast. Thank you for being on.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you very much. So, bonjour.
Bonjour.
All right. I'm liking it. Yeah. Following the lead. I'm liking it.
Well, actually, so what I wanted to ask you, if Patrice, this is just a snippet of what you do. And, when I first met you, we did our little meet and greet, there was so much that I learned about you in that time frame, but I'd like for you to share with the audience what you do, because you've got an amazing career and mission.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about it. So back in time, I'm 18 years old in Paris, managing 3 hair salons because the craft I'd chosen was hair. And it was the beginning of the journey. It's when everything really started making sense of wanting to do something, being on my own. So by managing those 3 salons really gave me the taste of leadership, of helping, of guiding, of promoting. And all this together, I kept telling my boss, I want more, I want more, I want more. And it was like, what more could you possibly want with 3 of my salons and very high-end salons in the heart of Paris? What can you do? Move forward, move to Miami very little after, where I opened my business at 19 and some change, because I knew I couldn't work for someone. I had to make my own rules, and my vision, mission, and purpose had to be done on my own terms. So that said, I opened my salon, a very large operation with a lot of things in it. But really in it was like, I need more. It was always my more. America, obviously the US was always my dream country from the time I was a kid. I didn't know why. I never came here, but I just knew it was my calling. So I also understood that if I wanted to do greater things and leave a legacy, well, I had to hire a PR, which I did in Beverly Hills. And that's when I started working with celebrities on the red carpet, doing the Oscars every year for 13 years in a row, to really understanding that, yes, beauty was the beginning of it. It was all about the aspect and what we see. But it was also about knowing that when a celebrity or a global leader would tell me, make me beautiful, make me handsome, make me, those words meant nothing as long as we didn't go through them and knowing what emotionally and what emotional connection there was with this word, because what you call beautiful might not be my beautiful. What I call short hair, that is not your short hair. And all this is really because we mature words very differently. So I started realizing that every time someone would tell me that, either it's a premiere for a movie, we're on the red carpet, or it's just a global leader ready to make an apology, it's really about making it like, what do you mean? What message are you telling the world? What do you want people to remember? Because beauty is the final product of all the alignment of the emotions, the purpose, and the goal. And then we can put it into clothing and hair and accessories and all that. So that's really when I started realizing, oh, that's really what I'm doing. So from it, one day I'm sitting down in a restaurant in New York City and I'm watching TV. I can hear the audio, but I could see the disconnect and the craziness with reality TV and hair makeover, everything quick fix. And I realized, no, this is not how that works. Beauty comes from within. And if you don't align all that stuff inside of you, there is no way you can display it from the outside. There is no connection between both. Therefore, it's bad branding or no branding at all. So Mind Your Hair, my first book, saw the light a few years ago to knowing how to go through a hair makeover. Because you don't just wake up one day and you say, you know what? I feel horrible in my life. If I change my hair, change my life, the fix is done. It's not. Because that is an emotional decision once again. Especially hair is super emotional. So you know that the following day or maybe a week later, no matter what the amount of time, it's going to still tell you wow, but I hate this. What did I do? Well,
Uh-huh.
that's his fault. That's her fault. Now the accountability is like gone. And you realize that, wow, that quick fix never worked, because any quick fix, making money, quick fix, changing your hair, quick fix, all of that doesn't work. So I really wanted to take women by the hand and say, hey, you know what? There is a 7-step to go through if you want it successfully done. That really got me into speaking on stage. And then I got signed by a New York keynote agent, where I actually became a keynote speaker on self-empowerment, self-development, helping mentoring for free high school girls in Astoria, New York, and really starting getting my message across as, hey, beauty comes from within. But in it, it started expanding, knowing that I could actually recognize how people, the way people were telling their stories by the way they looked. And that's really something that started developing after my book was out in New York. The company I hired to do digital products actually wanted to find my unique selling proposition, that magical digital USP. And that USP is like, we need to find that one nugget that comes and makes you so special. And apparently, I got to realize it when the question was asked, if I look at someone's hair, am I able to tell who they are? But I'm talking to the core of them, the story of them, everything there is inside of their emotions, I can see just by the way they wear their hair. Not judgment, an assessment. And that was really where everything started like going crazy, because then I got approached by who became a friend of mine, Cindy Brown, to tell me, you're not doing a hair reading, because I would do it on stage and invite 3 guests to really validate what I was doing, but also to showing that there was a truth to it. So therefore, when Cindy approached me, she said, no, you really are reading everything there is about the person. The hair is the beginning, but everything from body posture, the choice of clothing, the voice pitch, everything is really about the person. And this is when I had for 5 years to sit down and put into a book, which is my upcoming book, Mind Your Impact, Style Interventionist, to really understand, for people to knowing the importance of the psychology of appearance. Because the way you walk into the room is the way you tell your message. This is it. The moment you walk into the room, the deal is done. There is no redo. So let's work on it from the deepest core of you. Therefore, now we can really align all those emotions and convey your message at ease. And that's really 20 years later.
20 years later. But let me ask you though, because you had explained that, when we first met, you explained that there was even a science behind it. But prior to that, when they tested the science, what I did ask you, Patrice, was, is this a gift that you have? It's a gift because you could see past the exterior of people. Now, could you describe to us like how that gift is? Is it a feeling that you get? Because I'm going to have you go on to explain how they tested it as a science.
Yes, it is a gift. And I finally could say, yes, it's a gift, because I used to think, I used to not even understand it. I used just to know from the time I was a kid what the person even was going to say before they said it. It was like a mentalist sort of thing. And it really reminded me, while doing the work with my editor on Mind Your Impact, Style Interventionist, because of course she was like, we need to really put into words how you do it. How was this gift born?
Yeah.
I just don't remember. I remember doing it forever. Since the time I can remember, I've been doing that. And it reminded me one day, my mom did tell me, honey, you are looking through people's soul. When you look at them, you don't look at them. It's not even you stare at them. It's like you're going through their souls.
Yeah.
And it was very powerful. But at the same time, I'm a kid. I'm like, yeah, that was different. Like my mom saying something like that. But what was that even mean? And along the way, I always worked with, leaders, and my clientele was always a top echelon. So it was always like I was treated like an adult immediately. So I had really to be responsible very, very fast. But it also gave me that thing where people kept saying, listen, this is crazy. In one session with you, one session of hair, you were actually able to help me with my problem, or to give me the best guidance when I've been going to my psychiatrist or my psychologist or whatever for 5 years. And this is when I'm like, And then they said, you need to write books, because not only you have so many stories, which I don't do gossip, But they say you have so much in you and so much wisdom and guidance, you need to put it into words. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it one day. And this is really going through the process when I wrote my here that I started realizing, oh wow, yeah, this is true. I do pay attention to those details, and they're intuitively telling me what it is. It's like, yeah, it's like a magic trick in a way, because I look at someone and within a nanosecond, which is really something scientific, by the way, because there is no 5 seconds to make a great impression. There is a nanosecond to make a life-lasting impression. The impact is done. In fact, it's a life-lasting impact. The moment you walk into the room, that gut instinct people get, that's it. So that's really the gift that I've been developing all along, and finally we're able to put it into words with my new book.
Wow. So you're basically even saying that in a nanosecond, whether we all realize that we are sending out messages to exactly what we're wanting to say without even saying a word.
That's it. Because, for instance, one of the example is someone freaking out going to a job interview and saying, oh my God, what am I going to wear? Okay, well, I'm going to wear the typical uniform. All right, let's think of it for a moment, because that's the thing. Those people already know from your credentials who you are. They already know what you have to offer. You have potential for the job. But what makes a difference? It's the way you're going to walk into the room. Remember, those people I've seen 100, 200, 300 people make a difference. Be authentic. I mean, just put it together in where your appearance, the moment they lay their eyes on you, especially those people, they're very actually in tune with personality, what they feel, the vibe that they're going to receive. And that's how it works. Because now if you have put the work in saying, all right, who am I and how am I going to convey my message when I walk into the room for this job, this particular job interview, that's how it works. We all do it. And this is the thing. Society has decided we are judging. No, we are reactive beings. To an action creates a reaction. This is just human to do. And from the time we are children, we start developing those patterns of behaviors, because for some people, this plus that equals a certain result. As for the other, maybe because the culture is different, the religion in the home was different, the mentor that you picked when you were a kid was different. And that's how you start developing your own sense of life, your own sense of emotion. Same thing with words. That's why you mature a word one way and the person next to you, the same word means something completely different. So that's really how that all goes together.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, and then now, okay, so now you said that moving forward, because, you've had this compilation of experiences with working with celebrities and all this kind of stuff. And maybe at one point you didn't truly know the gift. Maybe you had an inkling of it, but you just became more self-aware of it. And so now when you're now branding, or you're moving into like probably publishing a book, where your editors or the team that was working with you was asking you, well, how, prove this, Patrice? Can you prove it scientifically? Was that the next step that started to happen as you wanted to move on with this journey?
Yeah, actually, the one that really made me aware of all this was my Keynote agent in New York,
which was Cindy.
No, Cindy helped me actually to be aware of my second gift, and she helped me writing the coaching program for CEO and C-suite and the upper echelon of corporate. And because she's herself, she's been an exec her whole life. She has a very thriving business in Dallas, and she was the one saying, you need to help people like me, because here I am in my 50s. I could tell 50 men in a boardroom what to do, but really when it comes to me getting ready in the morning and knowing how to present and convey my message, I have no idea. Yeah. Maybe because my body, I'm not so proud of my body. Maybe my hair is too blonde. Maybe my bangs are from the past. Whatever the reason is, I need help to knowing what is the message. What am I telling the world? Because when I make this exercise and ask you, give me 3 words that you think you express that when you walk into the room, and then I make the crowd do the same thing, well, there's many, many discrepancies. So back to your question, she was really this Keynote agent, said, you're going to have people in the crowd that there'll always be one to battle you. Mm-hmm. It's just some people, you have the trolls on social media. Yeah. You have one person in the crowd that instead of enjoying the moment and saying, hey, there is value, or maybe not so much value, No. They need to take it the extra step to saying, how am I going to destroy him, like by a question? So it did happen. For instance, I was talking about body language and how you place your feet. Your feet are very much the expression of engagement you have in a conversation. If someone have their feet turned a little bit to the side or one way or the other and not to you, they're not engaged. That means they really don't care about what you're saying, or they're preoccupied with something else, and we can even go deeper in detail, but really we'll stay with more the general example. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, who said that? I said, who said that? Oh, let me give you an example. The FBI. How about that? Does that ring the bell? Yeah. When they actually try to really get to the truth of something, yes, the person can very much be on top of the table. Their hands are going to be flat. They're going to try to control the breath, the heart rate, everything. But what they forget is actually underneath those feet and the way they move is actually expressing the lies. And when there is a lie, they move and they move a certain direction and it's fidgety. And that's really, and then we can take it to the neural system, which we're not going to do that much, but it really is related to that because the lie is triggering this moment where now actually the feet are one of the parts where more so than the hands, because the hands, they can express something fake almost to a degree, although I speak with my hands all the time because I'm French and I'm passionate about what I do. But feet are really something people forget. And that's a great clue to seeing because that is something that will always tell the truth.
Wow. So that's what they did. So then how long did it take for them to actually test out the science for you guys, for what you have?
Oh, the one that I really went was like from 1962, where they really got hands-on to saying body language means something. Body language has signals that it's sending out. That it's really, there were work done before, but people were sort of like, that's bogus. I mean, what are you talking about? It's sort of like, eh. But then in the 60s, you know, with the industrialization and all, the world was starting really brewing. And that's when they started realizing, all right, well, I need to make a difference now because, you know, competition starts to grow. The population started growing. Of course, now a lot more than that. But really, that's when they started being very much hands-on to saying, there is a science to appearance. There is a science to the code, the layers that we're putting on top of us to really expressing our message.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now, Patrice, like moving forward, you have a vision, mission, and purpose, you know, and it's all about impact, right? And,
Yes.
and you and I have talked offline before. And sometimes what were for you, do you know for specifically in your timeline, what was it that allowed you to change that trajectory into moving into that space of becoming more purposeful and you know, mission impact, as opposed to like, this is my career, I've got a talent, I could make millions of dollars continuing to do this thing. Where was that time in your life where everything just started shifting for you?
Yeah, that's a great question because yes, I could have been just being on the red carpet, do my thing, put my name on the line of hair products and be done and go around and, you know. The turning point, one of the turning points was before my book, Mind Your Hair, which was a major one. But the first one I had was when I lost everything. So I owned a lot of properties. I was in business with my best friend who ended up really being the worst person I could have been with. And then I'm doing business with, and then the real estate crashed. And then my business actually had to shut down within 3 weeks because the landlord shut down the building, the entire building, because the tenants were like literally running away. They were with no business. So at that time, I lost everything and ended up in my car. And this was really when I realized, wow, you know, instead of being caught in that frantic race after the money, you know, the kill and how much more money, what is the next contract, how much more, because I owned 4 businesses at the time. It was really understanding who am I, like my vision, mission, and purpose, because it's like, all right, here I am. So of course, the first part is I had a pity party for myself. I think I'm a loser. Maybe I have the worst idea, the darkest ideas, because now I'm thinking I lost everything. What is my worth? And then my worth was actually realizing my talent, my age, my gift, my everything that I had in me that I've been doing all along was not just beauty, but I touched lives. I was making
Mhm.
the world not only a prettier place, but I was touching people's heart with
Yeah.
their appearance. And I didn't know really how it was all connected, but I definitely realized that. And that's why my PR said, enough with this. You're moving full time to Beverly Hills. We'll have you between New York and because New York, it's all the relationships with the beauty editors and magazine and Condé Nast. But it's really about you got to be here. We're going to build this brand very solidly because you make a difference in what you do. And that was a big turning point to knowing that, oh, yeah, I don't just treat beauty from an appearance perspective. I go deep, 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 deep. And, back in time, I studied psychology just for fun because I just thought, I need to understand the brain better. I'm fascinated. Like when I was a kid, I would always sit at the adults table. To me, it was stupid to run around and play tag and jump in trees. Now, I wanted to hear adults' experience, what
Yeah.
they were talking about, how they were handling a situation in life. That was my thrive. That was to me much more exciting than running around in Mother Nature. And that was all those pieces together little by little realized that. And Mind Your Hair came from, that was the second turning point. It was really all that chaos on TV, all that
Yeah.
reality TV that was giving just the worst messages to the guys and girls of the world. And thinking, all that generation Z and Y, is that's what they're inspired by? That's where they think life is about? Everything is a quick fix. Everything is about money. Everything is
Yeah.
like in 15 minutes, you can go from here, there. Where's the process? Where is the love of self? Where is the
Mhm.
growth? And how do we know to learn how to take what we have and make it better and show it better to the world? And that's how really everything started morphing from where I was to where I'm here today.
Well, it's interesting though because I went through the same thing. As I told you, I had 23 years of experience in real estate, and
Uh-huh.
that's really where my and that was 2008, but that was still a series of years, and even till this day, like now is really when I'm stepping truly into my power, because there was a part of me in 2008 that was asking, like, is there more to this? I'm watching everyone lose their homes, including myself. Like, all resources are gone, and money prior to that was just raining from the sky. And so that's why I was saying that, sometimes you have these big moments in your life that really change that, but sometimes they don't shift as fast. Sometimes it takes years to really cultivate that and really come to that understanding before you truly step into your power and understand that life is truly about, living with purpose, making impact, changing other people's lives.
Mhm.
And, I commend you actually for doing that. So like what you're saying, so your first book is Mind Your Hair,
Uh-huh.
correct? And you
Yes,
are working on releasing your next book, which is Mind Your Impact.
correct.
Now, where do you like from here on out, Patrice? Like, what are your plans? Like, are you with that mission? Where are you taking all of this with your second book? Are you still doing celebrity styling? And are you working? Where is this mission taking you?
I love that. That's a question. And I've been doing, I don't know, 20 interviews the last couple of weeks. But that is a great question because I don't do as much of it. Yes, I kept my really top clients because there's still a reality to my life, which is the dollar. But there's also now my purpose is greater than that. There is so much with this book that's coming. It's not just a fame or it's not a vanity project. It's really,
Mm-hmm.
truly about touching lives. And when I see the response like I have with you now, like that pushes me, that fuels me,
Mm-hmm.
that makes me go forward because I really want to make a difference in this planet. Before I go, I want to leave a legacy of
Yes.
something true to my heart, true to my guts, true to my soul. And that's really what Mind Your Impact is literally 5 years worth of work. And it was a lot of work. And it was the ups and the downs with my editor, who was also really a mentor. And she was incredible. Lorraine Garnett has really shown me how to dig into my brain and find all those nuggets that she was able to put together in order to create this book. So for me, this book is such a labor of love that its purpose is greater than life. It's really, I want to go around the world. In fact, I'm going in September. I have to go to Dubai. I'm going back to Italy now, finally, that this COVID is starting, leveling
To
out a little.
opening.
Yeah, finally, hallelujah, but so I want to take this book, not just to be famous, because I used to be like that when I was a kid. It was about being rich and famous. Now you have fame, but to use fame to help others, to connect people, which I've always done, putting people together in one room and saying, hey, how do we do it together? You need help? I can help. I have the knowledge, or I have the resources, or I have the understanding, and I can help you step by step to take you from where you are to where you're going to be. So styling is really starting getting a thing of the past, because all my energy, love, and devotion is really onto, and all the digital products I've been preparing, all the e-courses, the webinars we're about to promote. So all of that together is like so exciting, because that is where I love it. I excel. I love the stage. I love being with you. I love the camera. And I've been developing that, funny enough, because I was this kid who was bullied at school and not so great either with my father. So I was extremely shy and introverted, to now also being like, wow, I'm stepping into the light. I can show people that I was, well, I could, the most little hole I could hide in, I would do it. And now here I am, I see a camera, I go right in front, because, during Oscar especially, it's very much about the press is around, and suddenly they say, oh, okay, camera, 3, 2, 1, go. And it was a great exercise to get out of my comfort zone. And that's also something I'm teaching people. I'm just like you. People think I'm larger than life. I was born that way. No, I wasn't, actually. I made myself.
Absolutely. No, I was like, when you're talking about that, that's what I was saying. Like, for a lot of people to see me like this on camera, a lot of people thought that a lot of my life I was like this, but I really enjoyed talking to people and all this, but I had such a severe lack of confidence. And I did, and I worked through all of that. And now when I get on camera, it was just more, now it's always about, it's not about myself anymore. It's about the impact and the message that I want to make. And that's what makes me turn on the camera. That's what fuels me. That's what allows me to do these interviews with you and find people like you to share your message, because we're doing it. We're unequivocally standing in our power and unapologetically saying, this is who I am. And I'd love for the whole world and all of humanity to get to that place. And that's why I'm saying, sharing your message, Patrice, I know that's what you're trying to do. You could easily work on the outside. That's not a problem. What's the biggest impact that is really that we're trying to face right now is truly changing how we each feel about ourselves inside.
Yes, because you see, this is the thing. Social media could be such a great tool, but it could also be so destructive. And that's really the aspect I see more than the good. And there is some good. Obviously, look at that. We're talking together because we found each other in the same community of podcast speakers and all that. And it's great. But unfortunately, it's not there yet where it should. It could be like that. It couldn't be much greater than that. But unfortunately, it's more, social media is more about using filters. For instance, I just did a segment with this girl in New York where it's like, oh my God, the filters, enough with the filters. Who invented this crap? It's like promoting, doing all the things that are completely fake. And then, for instance, I had a client who was surprised. She went on a date. All right. She's a very powerful executive. Goes on a date. But guess what? The guy was fair. And she's like, oh, what a, And I'm like, why? Oh, you don't look like your photo. Oh, really? Well, show me your app. Show me the picture. I said, you were surprised? Seriously, come on, girl. You need to be real. That doesn't even look like you. And why? I understand you made yourself pretty in the sense of what you call pretty, but you changed everything about you, even your jawline. It's not the same shape. Your eyebrows, it's like some magical thread person came around and reshaped them a way that doesn't even exist. And that's really what I'm talking about.
Yes.
This disconnect between people, this evaluation of one another. How many followers? What kind of crap is this? Who invented how many followers?
Yes.
All you want is an engaged community, and you'd rather have only a couple thousand people that are really all in love with you, that you really sharing a message with, than having millions of them. If it's just because they push like, where's the value of that? So that's really where I'm at.
No, I agree. And then I was even just going to say, even after the pandemic, right? Because we were all couldn't go anywhere, and we all, there's no reason to put makeup. Now there is, at least everyone's doing everything through Zoom. But what I used to follow before, even let's just say on platforms like Instagram, was like beauty influencers, all of that kind of stuff. And you and I know the family that we're talking about. They've made a huge impact in the world with the work that they've done, and they've made huge impacts in the lives of others and boosted careers. But as I started reevaluating everything, especially in this last year, and especially as I started getting on camera, I stopped following a lot of that because I was just I realized true beauty comes from within. I don't change much about myself, but people are saying I glow more. And it's just because I've gotten so in touch with who I am on the inside that the outside is just the icing on the cake that, you feel better about yourself. And so you take care of yourself. And that's really, I believe what, you're on, I'd love to, yeah, I continue to love to support this journey that you're on. Even if it's right here sharing this on my platform, but I will continue to, support you, Patrice. And I commend you really for stepping into that space, especially coming from, Hollywood. There, like I said, there's more than enough abundance in that industry that you don't have to do this, but you are taking a different route. And I commend that.
Yes. That was about 3 years ago when I told my PR, I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to do the award shows. Was it fun? Of course, it was a little boy's dream. I mean, the moment I stepped into the green room, it's like, I'm in Hollywood. Like, I look around and it's like People magazine, only it's in front of my eyes. Of course, there is something amazingly rewarding to think, wow, I started with zero and here I am. Yeah. But there was a point of time too that it's like, really? Is that going to be it like my whole life? Like, am I going to do what there, so many I know do? Like, that's what party am I going to get and who am I going to see and how many pictures can I collect with how many celebrities? Yes, it's fun. It's part of fun. And I love it. I'm enjoying it, but I still do. But because now it's in my own terms. Now my brand is myself. I'm not having to attach myself to other people just to create my brand. I'm turning into my brand. I have found my calling. I have found what I'm here for, my vision, mission, purpose. Like you said, the impact, it's a huge word. Like, what impact do I want to leave on this planet before I go? Yes. And that's really what it's all about. Yes.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. No, Patrice, I'd just like to say thank you so much for coming here and sharing your mission and your vision. And of course, your purpose. And that's what 8 billion is about. It's uncovering those stories. And like I said, there's so many different ways you could do it, but the biggest thing is turning within and really looking at the gifts that like you were given by God, and then using that to fuel creativity and your life's work. So I just wanted to say thank you for actually coming on here. Now, Patrice, could you tell us, your new book is coming out. What is the best way if anyone wants to look more into the work that you do? Do you have a website? Do you have social media? And then let us know about your books.
Yes, so I have all of that. Yes, so I have social media, obviously Facebook and Instagram. It's under Patrice Bisiot, which is really not / Image Impact Index. And then my website is imageimpactindex.com. And that's really where all the magic happen. In fact, I'm going to release a ton of audio, so it's going to be podcast style, where it's going to be like quick, 5, 6, 7 minute tips on, hey, whatever, going on a date, a job interview, how to handle social media, maybe a Zoom call, how do I do it? So all that great stuff. And I'm here for my community, meaning you reach out to me, and info@talktopatrice.com is my direct way of communicating with you and with the world. So any question you have, and obviously it's featured in imageimpactindex.com, but talktopatrice.com is by the way, is really about knowing that, hey, I'm here for you. You have a question, I'll answer. Am I going to answer the next minute? Probably not. But I promise you, within 24 hours, you will get an answer from me, and we can post it. We can talk about it, because your question helps another 1,000 people out there who wish they would have the guts to ask the same question. So please reach out. I'm here for my community. We're here to build this together.
Well, you heard that, audience. And actually, for any of the audience, I know that Patrice actually explained where you can go to find his resources, but I'm going to put in the description box, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, and you can actually connect with him through that way as well. But bravo, Patrice. And honestly, thank you so much for being here on the 8 Billion podcast. I look forward to actually maybe one day, if you'd like, you're free to always use this platform to share more of your stories and the impact you're making. But I
Absolutely.
commend you, and I know you're going to make a huge impact in this world. So thank you again for being on the 8 Billion podcast, Patrice.
Thank you, Liza. Thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of the 8 Billion podcast, and we will see you on next week's episode. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If it's moved you in any way, please review and share your thoughts, or text me your thoughts at 949-247-2800.